let you know, going a little while back, is an incredible world what they had built. And the way that it was built and the ease of use and how we could pop in and pop out of the world. So if you guys are into virtual reality, comment in the box below and say, hey, I know this program, or hey, what do you use? What do you use for virtual reality? The last thing that I used was a little bit of Sansar and a little bit of spatial.io, and it was fun. And I'm looking at bringing that and exploring that. I got a new computer set up, so it's exciting. So I get to explore a little gaming time, bring that in. Maybe we'll bring some more confronting domestic violence summits back in there. We've got a few things going on, and I just want to say a shout out to our sponsor. That was Valerie Smith. That last commercial that you saw, you want to scan that code. The information will be below as well in the description in a little bit, in a few minutes, maybe even after the show. You can always scan the code and go back as well. So I'll have that, bring that back up, drop that in the box and say, hey, this is what we've got going on. Support our sponsors because they support our show to bring this to you today, and to bring what we bring, especially in the school lab. So what are you guys doing today? It is Wednesday. It is a little bit after 10 a.m. And so today I want to share with you a little something. I found the whiteboard. So I'm going to see if I can have a little fun with a whiteboard today. I'm going to move my computer around, bring this whiteboard up, because what did I want to share besides the new cool stuff that Zoom has? So if you guys can see that, see if we could see that whiteboard on there. I'm going to bring that up. Oh, we do have the plot twist coming up. That is a virtual summit for you, cool authors. And let's see, is it sharing the whiteboard? Sharing your screen will close the whiteboard. Okay, so it's sharing here, but I can't tell if y'all can see it. So we'll see if it's coming up. A little bit of hello, H-E double hockey sticks, and a little bit of an O, right? I don't know that you guys can see it. It is not showing up. Oh, there it is. Okay. There is a delay always when you're doing stuff and when you are cruising around on the live stream. So hello, little distraction there. Isn't that cool? I'm liking this little whiteboard here. What did I want to talk about today? So you can play with it, clear your page, hit the little trash today. I'm going to show up here. This is a little fun, a little game, a little excitement. What did I have in my notes today? Finding out from side to side here. It's a little bit different to navigate than what I had. I wanted to talk about visibility, right? What is the stage for? What do you need the stage for when we're talking virtual stages? What's going on in 2026 with virtual stages? There's a lot going on. There's a few things going on here. We want to get visible. How do we do that, Nicole? Well, good question. I am so glad you asked. I'm gonna bring my sheet up, and I wonder if you can. So you really want to get visible, and you're gonna find your niche and your audience, and you want to make sure that not only your speakers but your audience is going to align. So we'll talk about three main steps today, and I wonder if you can cut and paste over here. I wonder, nope, you can't. Okay, so step one, my writing's a little off. Oh well, at least I can write and spell a bit here. Step number one, I wasn't hired for my writing. You have to complain to my boss. You're going to define your niche. So, what is your niche? Who are you talking to? This is what you want to bring to this stage, right? Define your niche. It's a little bit hard to write. I need like uh, one of them little it looks like a little like notepad iPad things where you can write and you can, I think you can share it on the screen, but you have to do a whole bunch of camera stuff. It'd be a lot easier to scribble. I need a long stick. But anyway, so what are we looking at today? We want to define our niche. This is what we're talking about. This is the first one. So step one is going to be define your niche. Step two is going to be to plan your summit strategy, and step three is secure engaging speakers and content. And that goes with everything, with the workflow starting to engage with your audience on the social media platform? How are you engaging in networking? Are you telling people you're a speaker? Are you putting your emails out and say, here's the events I'll be at this week. You can meet me here. Catch me outside, catch me in the event. Go, say hello to people. Let them know, hey, I'm a speaker. I've got a stage. I'd love for you guys to be there. If you can, support me there, or at least support the social media. And what are you doing? So when you're defining your niche, the specific industry niche that you're going to, who do you want to target? Are you targeting a specific audience? And that's in the virtual reality space, that's in the virtual space, and that is in your live spaces. If you don't know who your audience is and you don't know what your audience wants, it's time to put your big thinking cap on and go in there and talk to your audience. What do they want? A pop-up is something maybe that you want to do is some podcasts going live. You have a scheduled podcast or you go on other people's stages, you go to networking. You should always be tuned in. You should always be turned on. You should always be in the stage. You really want to determine that ideal audience. So McDonald's does it, all these franchise do it. I don't want you guys to be a franchise, but you want to go out there and look. If McDonald's knows that people want, if they're going to have a burger, most people are going to want cheese. So everything is basically a cheeseburger, right? And it's got you got it's coming with cheese. You can ask for it a little bit separate. They know that you want those fries that you're gonna dig in the bottom of the bag and you're gonna find that one little one that's just like a cracker and it's got just a little bit more of that salt that saturated in the bottom of the bag, all that extra salt that got missed. You're probably gonna want a soda with it. Good, bad, or indifferent, healthy or not, McDonald's knows what their customers want, the price point that they'll pay, and what they're going to get. It's a pre-package in a sense because they know between the hours of, let's say they're open from 6 in the morning to 6 at night, right? So if you're driving through, you're going to get that same quality. People want to know that they're going to get that same quality from you. It's not everybody, it's not everywhere, and it's not someday because it's not a day on the calendar. I'm going to add it in one of these days. I'm going to write every day is someday. Today is the someday, right? You want to know your audience and you want to give that good quality and you want to give a little extra. If you're here 3 to 5 years in your business, are you using those cameras to talk to your audience? It takes time. And hell, guys, let's be real. It's 2026. Tech is changing every day, every second. I kid you not. The other day, I was yesterday, signed into Zoom, live stream wasn't there, had to sign out and sign back in, and all of a sudden it was there. Monday, there was no whiteboard tab. No, let's see. The couple days before that, there was no whiteboard tab. So when I signed in and I had all these tabs as a host on my thing that weren't there before, I had utilized them before, but the setup had moved a little bit differently. And then it's there. It's constantly changing. And if it's constantly changing, you have to keep up with that technology. And so it's good to have a ride or die or a wingman in the back, somebody who's going to work with you and say, hey, are you going to, I need to stand out and shine, come on the camera, right? So know that that's going to happen. Once you get that out of the way, you're ready, you're set up. Just be ready to come in and shine. And so once you determine your audience, you're going to craft a clear, compelling, and valuable proposition. You want to get on a stage where you can have some type of call to action. And anything technically is a call to action. Hey, get my lead magnet. It's my freebie call to action. Call to action could be like, hey, maybe the host on the stage is giving you a free space. And they're like, hey, no call to action. We don't want any selling. We don't want you to make money. But they've graced you with a stage. That's okay. Can I share my LinkedIn? Can I share my Facebook? Hey, go to my Facebook. I don't have one. Let me talk about LinkedIn. Go to my Facebook, Nicole Borghi, on LinkedIn, right? Go to my LinkedIn and DM me Summit. Just reach out to me, guys. reach out to me, DM me Summit. Don't ask, just share it. Hey, can I share a code? Hey, can I share this? Just give them direction. As long as the host says, yeah, you can go ahead and drop that link in there and people can connect with you. Or maybe there's a connection on their webpage where they list you, then list that in there. Make sure there's a way for people to contact. That is a call to action in and of itself. And anybody that calls you, if you're looking on your LinkedIn, anybody that has talked to you and after that summit or within that summit time that has reached out to you, they're probably ask them if they're from that summit and give them a gift. Say, hey, thanks for reaching out. Let me reach back to you, right? And you can always, here's a tip, you can always reach out to all your audience and offer them, hey, this week I was on this really cool summit. I was on this amazing podcast, and I want to share this with you guys, with everybody, right? So you've defined your niche, you know your avatar, you're talking to aligned people. And I have to come back to this. I know there's a lot of people out there that have been in business for a while, but they forget that it's 2026, friends. And even in 2025, remember that you're not just talking to that same person, but maybe if we go back to the McDonald's, those people expect now a little sundae. Maybe they want some ice cream. Maybe they want a little bit of dessert, or maybe it's 2024. They want, or back in the day when McDonald's had salads, I don't know, that's telling, but they used to have salads in a shaker cup. It was cool because you could mix it all up and shake it. It was just fun. More fun than it was enjoyable. But if they want a salad, you have to go back to that. So you got to remember the year and not only what's trending, but what do people want to make that expectation and reformat it. So when you're defining your niche, it shouldn't be as stuck. What are they looking for now? A lot of people in 2025 were looking for a lot less, a lot less. They didn't want to be overwhelmed. There's a lot of people out there that didn't want to be overwhelmed at all. So let's go to step two, right? And why is this training? This is virtual for anything that you're sharing. There was a lot of people that came in that have come into some summits or had come into some groups and asked a few questions on, hey, um, what why is this not connecting? Why, what do I do with my leads? They didn't really reach out. They weren't looking for it. So let's go to step two today. You really want to, once you've identified that person, if you're a speaker host, who are you bringing in as your speakers? And what's the content that you're sharing on your stage? So if just the summit that I just held, which was so super amazing, total support for confronting domestic violence, giving them a shout of love to be able to share a stage with people and support that, and also share it with the executive director of confronting domestic violence, Agape. And you want engaging speakers. Let's talk about, if you're a speaker, you're engaging content, right? And engaging content can be something real boring. Maybe you're talking about science of fingernails. Hey, we just had this fingernail discovery. It's probably not that interesting. But what's your delivery? Like, I listen to like a lot of like a Lex Friedman and some AI people. I like to listen to Elon Musk. I'll go down the rabbit hole with Avi Loeb, with Oumuamua right now. These people are scientists, and the subject could be so boring, but like Elon, or like them or not, Elon Musk is engaging. He's in front of the camera. So the subject may be kind of like, oh gosh, this is so boring, but the energy is good. The same with someone like Avi Loeb. He's a scientist. He's got a lot of data, a lot of information, but every once in a while he'll break, he'll laugh a little bit, but you can see him get really excited about the discovery. His energy is there. So is your content engaging? How are you delivering it? I do add a PDF to mine, and I do have a background. I find that it helps me stay on topic. and I have my notes and I can give that deliverable, make sure that I get that message and then I'm circling back to the information. But my stuff, just like this back here, just like my little virtual reality in the background, it's moving, it's doing thing. It's a pattern disruptor, so people can kind of watch that and be a little bit engaged in what are we talking about. This is a stage, folks. This is a trade show in virtual reality. So when you want to have engaging content, are you talking to your speakers? And I love to have summits where we're having a speaker panel and Q&A. Love to have time for the speaker to be able to answer questions to the audience, because if you're sharing something like, "Hey, I'm sharing social media content. Maybe I'm a social media marketer." Okay, post every time. Don't spray and pray. Make sure you post at 9 o'clock and you get engaging. The people get really boring, right? What if you added like, hey, so now the person in the audience, you hear this stuff, it's repetition. Now you're kind of getting up and you're picking up what you're putting down. Maybe your coffee hit, makes me want to take a little sip. Maybe your coffee hit and you're like, hey, I'm in the audience and it's like, hey, what do you mean by a hand raising post? What do you mean by a call to action? Could be just DM. What do I DM? So you're the speaker. You want to be able to have engage. You know your content. You know your content. It's not secret. Nobody's trying to out you. Nobody's trying to give you a whammy when they're asking a question. It's just you want to be able to talk to your client. And if you can talk to your client on the fly, you can talk to your client in a networking place, you can have questions and maybe it brings a larger conversation, which means maybe you should think about that. Note to self, little note to self, maybe post it. Maybe you should think that enough people were interested in that topic. I should put it out there. Note to self, right? So you want to talk about it more. It's like beta testing. It's like getting your feet wet, getting in the water, right? So what is your content? Is your content engaging? Which means that there's a give and a take. And how many summits have you seen that are recorded? Some of that's okay. It's a good evergreen product. I'm not going to put it out there. I'm working on a evergreen summit for a client right now, and it's good content. I got to be the fly on the wall and listen to the videos, but I love it. But there should be a mix of live, and which that what that product will do is it'll give it'll be stored, right? And people can watch it, but they can also it will be a call to action to go to live events, podcasts, be part of the summit down the road. So you really want to identify that what's going to influence people. And influence doesn't mean a long-term influencer. I got 1 million people. I sure don't have that on my YouTube channel. But are people engaged? Are they getting influenced in there? Are you influencing your audience to move? So you want engaging content, pattern disruptors. Wow. Are you sharing? And even if you're sharing a quote everybody shares, even if you're sharing the cliche statement of the day, remember the word, the turnkey word, that was turnkey property for a long time, or a lot of people, let's circle back, or, hey, whatever the term is, and maybe you're quoting something you don't, everybody uses. Did you go deep enough as a speaker and look at the subject and identify that, hey, there's a nugget that you can share that only people will get when they come to the stage with you. So let's do that. What are like 3 takeaways for the audience? What are some 3 takeaways that the audience will get? You want to, take that into account as well. So be engaging. Don't be afraid of the audience. Some of these summits took away so much from the audience. But we got so separated, but let's bring it back. Let's be engaging. And this will help in networking too. You could do interview style. It's fun. You could do the same thing in virtual reality, but you don't have to do your hair. That's always good for us gals, right? So build a user-friendly summit platform. So if you're a summit host, and how does that reflect to your guest? And how does that reflect to your speakers? Well, as a speaker, you want to know, you want to know how to use the platform. There's a lot of, so we got to get that word user in there. Ah, this does take a minute, doesn't it? Woo! All right. User friendly. Not this whiteboard. It's not very user friendly, right? No, it's not. Oh, you could text in here. I could text. What does that mean? Can I? Ooh, can I type? Nope. I gotta play with this. Ooh, it's a frame. Nope. Okay. It's going all over the place, but that's okay. You can still see user friendly. Let's delete that. User friendly platforms. As a speaker on someone's event, you want to know and host, I know you're guilty. I have been on enough places where people do not tell their guest what platform they're using. So my friends, if I'm traveling and I'm on a phone, right? If I'm on the phone and you are using something like a streaming service and I'm on a phone traveling and I have some Wi-Fi to call in and I know my signal's good enough, or I'm stepping to the car to have a conversation, and people do it, it's okay. It just depends on, maybe somebody is coming in on a live stream with a quick report or something, a quick update for you, and they're doing a live stream, right? This thing upside down, I don't know how to use it. But let's look at it this way. If you didn't tell people you're using this stream key, like a StreamYard, which takes a lot of metadata, which takes a lot of your service can lag, right? You might not be able to get in. Maybe you're somewhere where you don't have a clear background, so you need to use one of them fun backgrounds, right? Like this. And you try to use a background. It's lagging so hard, your guest can't use a background, and then there's a bunch of distractions going on. Did you take that into account? Did you take into account, my friends, my hosts? Did you take into account that maybe somebody's coming in with something and you should give them a little like, hey, by the way, I'm using StreamYard today. We're using a streaming service. So you come in, make sure that you have a good, strong service and that you have this much of data available on your computer because we need to have a good connection. And if there's not enough, if the metadata is too much, even though you don't have to download the software, you're still using software. So it does take a lot. So that needs to be taken in fast. How fast is your computer? Do you have a gaming computer? Do you have a computer with good video cards in them? However, how does that reflect on the guest? Note to self, if someone says that they're live streaming and you know that what they're using, you can ask and you should ask. Do I need to come in 10 minutes before? And you should. And hey, host, it's really good to think about. Here's something to think about. I always ask my guests to come in 10 to 15 minutes early because sometimes we haven't talked in a while. Sometimes I don't always know the person that well that's coming in on a guest. So I want to have a nice little conversation backstage, right? You want to have a little friendly conversation. That's a user-friendly tool, right? Tools are harder to use, not only because they're constantly updating and the interaction, but are you user friendly? Let's look at it that way. So, are you making the systems easy for people to know? You might have somebody that's used to maybe being on a live stage, or somebody that's used to using their phone, or someone that's used to using Zoom. And if you are forcing them into a new system for your summit, it's not going to go well for you or your audience if your audience has to get trained, if your speakers have to get trained. Let's flip that around a little bit. We'll go back in a way, way, way back machine, right? Woo, we're going to flip it around. If you're a speaker coming to a stage, please know how to utilize the tools. And how do you do that? You ask the summit host, you let the summit host know, hey, you know what? I've only used this once or twice. I kind of have a little bit light navigation to it. So can you help me? Can we get trained? And I have no problem training people because I want you to show up in your best. That's training people to make sure that they understand Zoom. You really don't have to do a sound check on Zoom. Your equipment should be good, and as long as it's already good and it works, you want to show up a few minutes just so you're in there. And I always give people, hey, show up 10 minutes early. And the first few minutes of something is in a stage. You may have a few minutes. You want to start on time, but you also want to know that people are going to come in. They may have lost the link. They may have read the wrong email. They may have gotten the wrong Zoom link. The other day I was getting on a call and I was texting someone to tell them that ask them where they were. They text me asking me where I was. I was in the wrong Zoom link. Oop. It happens. There's so much going on and things change. So when we do that, we have to give time for that to happen. We have to give time for tech. So, and people aren't in that rush hour, so they don't have that drive, so they're just popping in, right? They're time traveling right into your stage. So how user friendly is the tool and what is the expectation you expect? So start it on time, but give your fans, followers, and your speakers a little bit of time to work on that. And speakers show up on time and show up for each other, right? You want to do that. So is it user friendly? So if I have a summit, and one of my first summits was in we started one in here in this stage, and it was a little bit hard. There was a lot of navigation to go in. But it was such a cool, it was so there was a stage we could have like road signs or billboards, right? We could have interaction with the little stands, and a video would play, and you could walk across the room, and you could just time travel into another room. This was intense. The builder that did it did such a freaking amazing job. It was so overwhelmingly cool. It was just like, wow, this is cool. Because I know I was hesitant getting in here. But a lot of it was, why is this platform not user friendly? Why is this platform so hard? And why is it so hard to get to the place where we can make it user? If you're going to use your stuff, you want to make it so people can get to it. It's just like your lead magnet. Do I have to take 212 different steps and answer 1,000 questions just to get to the good part? Because people are excited in your event, and they're like clicking around. They want to click right away. It's like networking. They want to get in right away. They want to check out stuff. They want to have some fun. And you want to keep that momentum up. And if you lock it down, the site's unreachable. You can't get in the site. It's difficult to get in there. It keeps telling you there's an error. You can't progress to the next step. Do you have a backup plan for one? But two, if it's that hard, people aren't going to want to go into it. And remember, don't turn off your links up to probably a week after the event, at least, because if people are getting a VIP package, that's evergreen. And if they go into the video and there's some emails, that audience is still going to click in there and they're still going to want to get to your stuff. Make sure your workflow is ready for them and make sure everything's up and running. Because I've had stuff where it was like 2 weeks later and people are still clicking. Why? It's not necessarily that an email went out. It's just that people, oh yeah, I have this email. I forgot to click this. I wanted to get this PDF, or they forgot where they downloaded it. We all do that, right? So making things user friendly. So as a speaker, you want to make sure that your gifts are easy to get, and you can get them immediately. When you start as host, start controlling the whole thing of when people can have their stuff. Make sure that there's a certain part of it. And yeah, some things are going to have a paywall. That's not what I'm talking about. Make sure there's a certain part of it that's easy to get right now. Easy for your speakers to get. Even if you aren't charging your speakers and it's your stage and you're controlling the whole thing there, you want to make sure that there's a few things that are easy to get for your audience. It's user friendly, ease of access, right? So you want egress and ingress, right? You want to look at that ease of access. But these are the things you want to make sure everything is user friendly and workable. So what did we talk about? There's a few things that we went on. Yeah, I want to clear the page. I sure do. I do. I do. Ooh. All right. So there's a few steps, right? So there's three takeaways today. Plan your summit strategy, secure engaging speakers and content. So if you make sure you're an engaging speaker, you're not up there robotic. Oh, I've got facts for you. I've got 1,000,001 facts. I'm Data from Star Trek. Bad impression, but still you get it, right? You're just given all this heavy data. People are overwhelmed with data. And you want to identify their pain points, but you don't want to really get brutal with it and trigger them. So plan your strategy. So as a speaker, if you're planning your strategy, what's your plan walking in the door and what else? When you're a speaker, make sure it's easy access. Make sure that you read that the you get take some notes on what there's what expectations, and you know what, share with your host. Share with your host before the day of the event if you have any questions. That's the time. A week before can get hectic. 24 hours before can get hectic with a lot of overwhelming questions. And if something's been sent to you weeks ago, make sure that you take that into account as well. And so those are busy times in the event. You want to also make sure, what's your strategy? What are you bringing into the table? Do you have everything ready? Are you showing up for those podcasts? Are you showing up for the audience? Does the audience get to relate? That's why I love having podcasts live with my speakers, speaker panels, and engaging questions, interview stuff, because it gives the audience that development to get to know you, right? We're really taking that engagement back. And also, so what's the speaker strategy? And summit host, what's your strategy? What are you expecting? It's a lot of work. And I was listening to, it's not Godfrey, it's Godfrey. Oh gosh, the gentleman, I cannot remember his name right now. Great person. He's a wealth coach. And it was just really, he had such great information about what he was talking about. And then I just drew I don't know if you guys can hear it, but they're mowing the lawn. I hope you can't hear it because they're mowing the lawn in the back, and it totally just, I just lost my train of thought. But let's go back to it. So define your niche and your audience. Who are you coming into? Who are you sharing the platform with? And Summit host, please remember, love what you do. Oh yes, that's what um the gentleman was talking about. He was talking about procrastination. He was absolutely talking about procrastination, and not just that you're procrastinating and you don't want to do something because if you're not doing what you love and you're not happy. Where does that go into further is if you're a summit host and you're absolutely taking everything on, you're a do-it-yourselfer. Okay, that's great. But are you procrastinating? It was my last summit, 265 hours. 265, 264 hours. That's a lot of time that you're not getting paid for because you're moving and doing stuff where you can get your projects, your products, your project going so you have it to launch at your summit, or your products that you have and your services and your packages that you have, you might want to refresh them for your summit. You could be working on that. You could be taking on clients. But where you procrastinate is if you're taking this on and you think you want to build a website and you've changed the website, you overwhelmed yourself, you don't have your documents ready, you just kind of want your speakers to show up. You are procrastinating. It takes a lot. I've seen a lot of broken websites. I've seen a lot of people do 3-page websites where they've got this long landing page for each speaker. It's overwhelming. Do people need that? If it's only a short time, you just want short teasers. It's like, just think of it as a movie trailer. And people want to just kind of look in. It's like that 3-second thing you got 3 to 5 seconds for your YouTube. Yes, you got 3 to 5 seconds to get people to hook them in. Once you hook them in, they'll want to know more about you. That's why those long form 1 hour, 3 hour podcasters come in more and more. People want to get that and give some information. What tips are you getting them? How are you keeping them there? So we talked about being engaging. What's your content? And you want to use content that you previously used. This like comedians with jokes. Did you add some spice to it? Did you change it up? And are you aware as a speaker how to utilize the tools and tech that you have? And if you're a summit host trying to take this all on, if it's not your zone of genius, let it go so you can just release it and do what you need to do. Maybe you need to collaborate with somebody. But if you're out there and you're paying people top dollar and you're paying them thousands and thousands of dollars for stuff, and then you have a coach that you're paying these high tickets for, you're selling high ticket offer and your event, whether it's a summit, a webinar, or workshop, or just a group setting, how does that look? And are you engaging enough that your summit may look like you just drove up in your van? You remember them old school white vans? I know it's telling them old beat up work trucks, right? And you're selling and you get out in your Gucci. Alex, it's a little bit off-putting. Are people going to take you seriously? Hey, I'm gonna charge $1,000 an hour, but my events aren't going to be high class. My events are going to have no attention. My events have no CTA. So then people aren't going to stay that engaged. So make sure that you want to make sure that's there and that people are sharing and promoting, and so they understand the flow and they understand the guidance. There are times when you need to reevaluate. There are times when you want to say, hey, times are changing. What is my intention with this? What am I getting out of this? So look at that too, right? And make sure that you're successful. What are you giving those customers? Are you giving them that meal? Are you giving them that happy meal from McDonald's and letting them supersize it if they want? Let them have it. You don't have to give them everything. Give them exactly what they want, and then you'll be able to give them what they need, and everybody will be happy. And if they want to upgrade and get the ice cream as a little added bonus, that's good too. All right, friends, have a good day. We did enough. I'll see you tomorrow on the Voice Lab podcast. Bye bye. Bye bye.